three of your greatest friends are crammed with, that's those two on the left, two on the right, think of them, are crammed in this tiny aircraft. You're sitting on a plywood floor because there's only one seat in the plane, and that's for the pilot. Inside this metal tube, the engine howls as that small plane struggles to drag us all to 12,000 feet. The noise is deafening. And then the pilot pulls back the throttle, idles the plane. Someone opens the door. The wind is whispering in the sudden quiet. And you look out, there's a vast expanse, 2 miles deep. Your heart's pounding with exhilaration and awareness of the risks. Now that's skydiving. That was my passion as a younger man. It's one that taught me some very valuable lessons, because before every jump, before every skydive, we do a dirt dive. We would go through all of our planned formations. We would check each other's gear. We'd practice the hand signals that we'd need to communicate during the jump. It was all about maximizing the joy while minimizing the risk. Today, I get that same rush anytime I want to. I just imagine what the world is going to be like with the fusion of AI and humanoid robotics. For mankind, that is a huge leap. That's the biggest leap since fire. It is exhilarating and terrifying. So let's do a dirt dive on AI and humanoid robotics. Now, I'm no PhD in AI. I'm just a kid from North Dakota that spent the last 50 years putting in automation in manufacturing and distribution centers around the world. At 19, I built my first robot arm. Just a crude thing that moved sickle sections across a rod to clear debris in a rod weeder. It saved me hours in the hot sun, but it sparked a lifelong enthusiasm for automation. During this 5-decade career, I've seen a lot of changes. This career has spanned from pre-PC days through the arrival of the internet, to the arrival of the smartphone, and today we're on the cusp of artificial general intelligence. Each rewrote the world, but this one is bigger. Now, AI. What is AI? Language, vision, reasoning, decisions merges with humanoid robots. Machines that look like us, that move like us, that fit our world. Utility is key, and it's visible to us. Right down the road, there's robots in BMW that are working 20-hour shifts every day. Around the world, there's incredible capacity being built to mass produce these things. And as they come out, what happens? The cost goes down. More utility is discovered for that less expensive robot, and that cycle accelerates. That cycle is accelerating, and it's unstoppable at this point. But why would we ever want to stop it? The upside is breathtaking. These robots aren't just tools. These robots are partners that can supercharge human potentials. Amazon's distribution center, when you visit them, you'll find that for every worker, there's a robot. 1-to-1 ratio. Productivity is up 30%. Injuries are dramatically reduced. In hospitals, in nursing homes, in senior care centers, nurses are saved back-breaking work by MIT's EBAR robot that can help them do safe patient lifts. There are other robots that are built to deliver vaccines in the quarantine zones. So at the next Ebola breakout, we can deliver safely the medicines needed for those people. There's others that are doing critical experiments every day in biohaz facilities. They're doing it accurately, without making mistakes, with no risk of infections or transmission. And just think of what life could have been had that been available during the COVID creation days. They work tirelessly and, again, never infected. And at home, these will fold your laundry. They will teach your children algebra. And they will play chess with Grandpa, endlessly patient. And just this past September, a very critical milestone was passed. There's a company called OpenMind that introduced a system called OM1, which is the world's first open source robot operating system. This is going to equip your kitchen bot to reach out to its compatriot in Osaka and learn a new sushi rolling skill overnight. But one robot learns one place, all of the other robots on that operating system will learn at the same time. It's truly a global hive mind, but at human scale. But for every leap, there's a shadow, pitfalls to avoid. The World Economic Forum predicts a net loss of 14 million jobs by 2027. Shortly thereafter, that'll reach out and touch billions of workers around the world in both white and blue-collar roles. Goldman Sachs has said that this is already happening in the US. Their figures show that between 6 and 7% of the US workforce has already been displaced. Again, not factory workers. These are coders. These are paralegals. There are even AI prompt engineers that have been caught in this change. Just this past October 28th, Amazon announced layoffs of 14,000 people in their workforce. Not in their warehouses. The layoffs were happening, or are happening, in their tech areas, in their HR areas, and even in their cloud services areas. And this 14,000 expected to expand to 30,000 by the end of this year. And Amazon's CEO has tied them specifically, explicitly, to artificial intelligence. These are real. These are emails and inboxes. These are severance packages being calculated. These are families sitting around the dinner table recalculating their budgets. And companies are next. Companies that just spent $400,000 on that new Scara robot that was safe, low risk technology. In 2 years, a $20,000 automated, adaptable humanoid robot will make that obsolete, turning that $20,000 or $400,000 robot into a boat anchor. So that's the downside. Let's fast forward to 2032 to see what that means for you. Early morning, your smart home wakes you. You can smell the coffee wafting down the aisle or the hallway. And you know your Optimus robot has prepared it perfectly. Little steam wheel, a single sweetener, just like you like it. As you walk toward the coffee, you go by where your 8-year-old is being tutored by a 1X Neo robot. Today they're studying photosynthesis, and the robot says, see how chlorophyll attracts sunlight, just like a solar panel? Out in the driveway, there's a Waymo that your smart home is summoned for you. No driver, just seamless navigation through rush hour traffic while you read your email. Once you get to work, your robot co-pilot will explain that he's already scanned 400 new incoming contracts, spotted some errors, and drafted some responses. You go through, tweak the responses, you complete by noon, move on to other tasks. By 2 o'clock, you're ready to leave, to go to the course. Now, maybe that's a course in artificial intelligence, or maybe it's a course that requires a tea time. Your call. Now, that's not utopia. That's Tuesday in a world where humanoid robots are just as commonplace as microwaves. But how to get there safely? How do we get that outcome? First, get vigilant. We saw a little bit earlier. How many of you have had AI touch your job in the last year? Zero, some hands there. Look around, you're not alone. By next year, that's going to be 100%. Everyone will have seen AI touch their jobs. So what you do is you watch for unemployment spikes. Watch for bias reports, like the one that Stanford generated and released just last September, that showed that AI systems were ranking every mature female as 28% less competent. I mean, talk about a hallucination. Be especially vigilant for something called work slop. That's very pretty, very well put together AI output, but it's full of hallucinations and errors, and it's crowding the internet waves today. I'm sure you've all seen it, but don't panic. Don't panic. Prepare. Prepare intentionally. Upskill now. I recommend Coursera or something else called Fast AI. You might also spend some time learning prompt engineering, how to get actionable output from an AI system with your valid questions. Double down on uniquely human traits: empathy, creativity, leadership. AI cannot write a eulogy that breaks your heart and heals it in the same breath. Build a financial runway. Explore trades that require a human touch. Advocate universal basic income pilots, not as charity, but as stability. And fund it through robot taxes and taxes on productivity fees. I think there's a good model that we could follow. It looks like what Norway has done with their sovereign wealth fund that's turned North Sea oil into enduring prosperity for that country. And it's not just you. Society must also evolve. I see 4 pillars. First is economics. AI has shattered that sacred bond between capital and labor that was noted by Adam Smith. Human workers pay FICA taxes. Human workers pay income taxes. Robot workers work 24/7, no taxes. We need a new model. We need to tax AI profits and robot leases to fund universal basic income and retraining efforts, so this abundance that AI humanoid robots will generate is a shared resource. In education, adopt lifelong learning. Ditch the one-and-done degree. Establish human AI apprenticeships and teach moral judgments that are out of reach of machines. A machine can calculate the risk, but it takes a human to weigh justice. In the area of government, establish independent AI audit agencies that on an ongoing basis will audit every AI algorithms to assure that it's fair. Codify a legal right to explanation for every AI decision that impacts you. In the area of culture, fight isolation. Fight isolation. Fight isolation. That's probably one of the biggest risks that I see in coming at us in this change. Build robot-friendly senior centers. and build community centers, spaces where humans can still connect. Business leaders, this is for you. Avoid the cul-de-sac of comfort, where that low-risk, proven technology of that existing robot arm becomes handcuffs. It will become an epitaph. I suggest a 3-step roadmap. First, audit your productivity tools. Look at every machine, every line of code, and ask, can an AI humanoid do this better within 24 months? And then build a bridge to those 24 months by using open systems, off-the-shelf, standard hardware where available. Critically, insist on an open API. Don't get locked into a proprietary operating system. And by doing that, you'll build a foundation that'll equip you to leap when mature humanoids become available, when that 24 months expires, and it may not be as long as 24 months. And that'll enable you to scale your production, adopt these new tools without ripping out your factory floor or rebuilding your distribution center. So friends, we don't have to jump blind into this. We can check our parachutes together. This dirt dive arms us, and we should be thrilled by the possibilities, but clear-eyed about the risks. Hopefully we've got some strategies in place that will turn these risks into runways for mankind. I think the view from the free fall is going to be spectacular. We just have to assure that we're all there to pull the ripcord together. What will be your first step today? Thank you very much.